Good evening. Welcome to Mighty Ox Trading, Monday night trading the futures market. Was an absolutely wild day in the markets today. So let's see what kind of carryover it has. We can look here on the NQ, see what kind of day it was. Let me get rid of these arrows. I was pointing something out. But the arrows actually point out kind of where that wildness was. You can see here, this was the open, the New York Open. And from here, we started out at 16,638, went as high as 16,667. So about 140 points up. And then we free fell from 16,767.50, which is an all-time high. It fell all the way down to a low of 16,455. So it fell over 300 points. That's over $6,000 per contract. And then it kind of went up for a while. From this point, it bounced from 16,455 up to here at 16,598. So that's another, 140 points? So that's another $2,800. And then from here, again, it free fell from 16,598 to 16,364. Another over 200 points. So there was a lot of money to be made today. A lot of money. And that was absolutely wild. Oops. Get rid of that too. You can see that, earlier it was just kind of consolidating from the open here. We've been a couple good plays, just but this was just a wild day. ES did the same, kind of. You can see the ES up here at the open, hit all-time highs. Then it topped out at 47.40. Fell down to 46.97. So that's 43 points. It's a little over $2,000 a contract. Back up to 47.29. About $1,500 a contract. And free fall from 29 down to 74. 25, 24, 26 points, 29 points. So over 50 points, so over $2,500 a contract. So it's quite the interesting day on the indices. And the fun wasn't just in the indices. Gold. There's gold in them that are falling. In fact, I didn't even adjust this. This is the daily high and low from yesterday. You can see gold free fell as well. From about a high of 1850 or so, all the way down to, looks like 1802. So 48 points, $4,800 a contract. Crude oil. I don't think crude, but I wasn't monitoring crude as close, so maybe we'll see what crude did. Crude doesn't look like it was as dramatic. Crude actually rose somewhat throughout the day. At about a 2.5 point range. It's $2,500. You see it kind of went up, down, kept making higher highs, then came down, and finally decided to go up. My favorite, copper. Copper, kind of wishy-washy today. But still gave about a 160 tick range or so. You can see this isn't giving us the same kind of moves as the other assets have been. The UltraBond also fell most of the day. Over a 3-point range. That's over $3,000 a contract from this high here to this low here. The Russell. Crude giving us a signal. Let's see, crude buy signal and crude. What's it been doing? It gave us a good buy signal there. Just breaking through the bands there. Well, give it a watch. Pull back here. So signal went away. Pull back. Okay. See if it gives us a signal in the next candle. Back to the Russell. Russell wasn't as wild as the other indices, although it did give us about a 43-point range. That is a little over $2,000. Agriculture hasn't opened for the night yet. Kind of a upward trajectory most of the day. And natural gas. Low there. High here. About a 3-point, little over 3-point range. There's crude trying to give us a signal again. I'm gonna wait though. There were 7 minutes before 8 Eastern, and things can go wonky at 8 Eastern. So I'm not gonna enter any trades yet. So how's everyone doing tonight? Y'all can talk, say hi in the chat. Tell me how your weekend was. Did you do any trading today? There we got a signal on copper as well. Copper giving us a down signal. Crude oil again is trying to get attention. It's being attention hog. Oh, well, glad we didn't take that signal, huh? Whoosh. Yeah, it's a small whoosh. It's six ticks. UltraBond. Part of my yawning. Just ate. Had some carbs. Carbs are bad. Don't do carbs. You can see here Nasdaq's already giving us two good signals this evening. This was right after 7 Eastern. Would have given us the 15 points I try to look for. Now it's coming down. Signal shot right as I came on live here, and thus I missed it. It's gone 3.5, almost 4 points. Let's see how far it goes. Excuse me. Hello, Abelius. I wonder if I pronounced that right. Glad to have you on board. Have you been on my subreddit for the trading there, and have you asked for the learning materials, Abelius? Excellent. I don't usually get the names right. That's fine. We all have to start someplace, and take your time with the materials. And trading will always be here. It's not like it's going away. It's not a fad or anything like that. So, take your time, and as you can get into the materials, I'm always willing to answer questions as you go along, and always willing, whether it's here or sending me messages on Reddit or wherever. We'll try and help you along any way I can. You haven't gotten the materials yet, or you haven't gotten into them yet? I'm sorry, I misread that. Do you need me to send you the materials? I might have misread that. I thought I said that you had gotten them. I apologize. The the learning materials. Oh, okay. Yeah, and the learning materials are meant for complete noobs. There's stuff there for complete noob all the way up to some more advanced stuff. So you should definitely ask for the materials. If send me a message on Reddit so I can get them to you. There's our top of the hour. See, you're welcome. And if you have any questions while you're watching right now, feel free to ask. You see the NQ here and the ES popping up here at the top of the hour. Increase volume. I'm always suspicious of signals right here at the top of the hour at 8 p.m. One of the Asian markets come online. I can't remember which one. Might be Tokyo. but I'm not sure. I gotta look that up. We see gold dumped down by a full point. UltraBond didn't do anything real exciting. Ooh, that's an interesting candle. So crude oil went both ways. Up by 12, then down by 6. We can see here this short signal that we got here a few minutes before the top of the hour would have ended up being good, or at least somewhat good. It's gone at least 10 ticks so far. Normally I look for 20, although this week we might see lower volume because of the holiday week. Less people trading, more people traveling, things like that. So we might need to shoot our profit targets a little bit less. Gold. Hey, gold's acting really weird here. Down, came back up. Doji candle green, now down again. Looks like it wants to go down. I didn't take that. It seems like an odd candle, and we see it trying to pop back up here on the new 1 minute candle. I mean, we did get there was 14 ticks on this. If we had gotten in on this short signal over here, which was 10 minutes before I came online here on the stream, 10 tick stop loss. Looking for a 16 ticks profit. We still would have only gotten 10 ticks out of that. So well, that's weird. I must have different settings here. Hold on a minute. Quite sure. 2.2, what's this on? 2.05? How did that happen? Interesting. I like the 2.05. You know what? I'm going to keep it. I'm going to compare the two. See, now we got going back up. Where are you at? 2.2. That's weird. Okay. Crude again. Notice Crude's being an attention hound tonight. Down, it only ever went 10 ticks in our direction, then went the other way, now coming back down. Actually looks like it went 11 ticks. We're usually looking for 20. Copper also heading downward. Oh, crude just bottom dropped out of crude. Crude dog. Yeah, I said that really. So crude would have gotten almost to our 20 tick profit target. So far it's at 18. So that would be a good trade to take. We do see it giving us a excuse me. Let's try that again. See it giving us the signal in the 5-minute chart, but I really don't follow those 5-minute chart signals. They often come in late. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. The gold's just being weird. Up, down, up. Or down, up, down, I guess I should say. NQ, sideways. This will be the only evening broadcast this week. Broadcast? Can I call a live stream a broadcast? I think so. I think it's more a television thing. It's being the only the evening live stream this week. We will be doing morning streams. At least it's morning my time. Um, Tomorrow, Wednesday, and Friday. Oddly, the futures market is open Thanksgiving Day until noon. Well, one o'clock Eastern, and then reopens again at 6 o'clock Eastern. But I have no plans on trading. I expect volume to be extremely light, and I think people should just let trading go that day and spend family time or whatever. I know I'll be watching the Macy's parade. I'll be trying to stay awake while watching the Macy's parade. Not a lot going on right at the moment. Oh, so you'll see this short signal here. This is one of the issues you can find. Obviously, if we had gotten in on this first buy signal after 7 p.m. Eastern, would have taken us here. Would have given us as much as 11 ticks. And I've often wondered if I should go for a smaller target between 7 and 8, and then go for bigger targets as it gets past that 8 o'clock hour. So this one would have stopped us out right there. But if we had taken this short signal here, it's off. I often get the question is, if you get an opposite signal, do you get out? And it kind of depends. Normally I don't. Normally I just let it play out, especially when we're looking at lower volume. So you can see here, down here is the volume profile along the bottom edge here. And you can see compared to what happened here at the top of the hour on, we were barely getting any volume here. So there's part of me that thinks I should just not even start trading until after the 8 o'clock hour starts and that first Asian market opens. But let's look at this here. This short signal here would have gotten the profit target easily. My profit target is usually 20 ticks with a 12 tick stop loss, and that would have done it. So I want to go back on this Nasdaq here from today, and I somehow I ended up getting distracted, and I really wasn't trading today. I took a couple trades in the morning on gold, and that didn't work out. And I just kind of went on to my regular work. So if you look at this signal, this is a the thing that sends me the buy and sell signals is called super trend script, or super trend indicator. I'm sorry. And you can see how this was perfect here up to here. If you even kept it from signal to signal, got it at 652 and out at 738. That would be like 80 points, which is $1,600 on one contract. So let's say if you're running 3 contracts, that's almost $5,000. And then coming down, perfect again. Natural gas will check out right now. If you gotten in here at 735, pull back here enough that it sent a false buy signal, and you never get that buy. Why can't I talk tonight, huh? You wouldn't ever get in on a long signal with this strong of a downtrend. But you could have decided to get out of the trade there, and see, just in case. So let's see, that was what 736 would have got out at 625. So that's over 100 points. So it's over $2,000 a contract. And it sends another short signal here. You would have got in here at 592. Opposite signal fired here. And that was a pretty significant pullback. So you would have got out here at 525. So 592 to 525, it's about 67 points. 67, let's do 65 because that's easy. It's another $1,300. So right now, just following signal to signal, so 1,300, I said a little over 2,000, so let's say 2,200, 3,500, and I said this was 80, 35, 45, that's $5,100. Now, I would not have bought this, I wouldn't have went long here. And this was tricky. I wouldn't, I talk about these where you send the signal and it pulls back, but it actually did it twice before it went. This could have faked me out if I had tried that. This would have been good. But let's say we don't take that signal at all. Here's a signal that would have given us another 30 points. Here's a signal that would have given us 15 points. This one, I wouldn't have taken because it went down into the third band, which meant the pullback. But that would have ended up working anyway for 15 points. But I wouldn't have taken that one. This buy signal would have been good, but you would have had to deal with a couple pullbacks along here. But even if you just stayed in for this first candle was 15 points. So even if you didn't get the rest of this move, but if you had stayed in, let's say you would have went, because things are moving enough that you could have kept. Normally, I'm only looking for 15 points with a 20 point but with a 10 point stop loss. But let's say you kept the 30 by 20 that I look for in a move, or better yet, let's just continue doing what I was doing. From this to this, signal to signal, 532 to 574. That's another 40 points. It's another $800. And then here, another from signal to signal. 573. Okay, you would have to get, if you're in a trade, you would have to get out at by 310. So let's get out at 310, which is right here, or 410 Eastern. So 573 down to 386. That's about 190 points. So then $3,800. Just from 8:30 or 9:30, I'm sorry, Eastern to 4 p.m. Eastern, just following the signals could have netted you close to $10,000 on the Nasdaq. The ES made similar moves. And as you can see, this short signal here would have gotten us our 15 points. So we've already done 15 points twice, or we should have, if we had just taken these two signals. I wasn't trading yet on this signal, and this one was shortly after, just 2 minutes after I came on, so I wasn't in trading mode yet. So, by the way, 15 points on the Nasdaq is $300. So right here, in less than an hour's time, it could have been $600 per contract. Here in the UltraBond, again, if we had gotten in that first buy signal after 7. He gave my time zones mixed up, and apparently that's rubbed off my computer. I rebooted my computer earlier, and the time zone was messed up for some reason. Does the super trend indicator do most of the work for that? Yes and no. That's a very good question. Super trend's the first thing I look at, but I don't follow it blindly. Let me bring up this copper here. This copper's just fired this buy signal. Now you see I have this. Let me move these because they're kind of distracting. You see I also have these bands around these here. You see these yellow and white lines. It's called Bollinger Bands. The yellow or gold, whatever color this is the 2 standard deviation band. 95% of all price action happens within these bands, within the 2 standard deviation. I don't follow that much. You can see here, that's probably not a good example. You can see here how they can kind of ride that 2 band. I don't follow that much. But the 3 band I follow. 99% of all price action happens within that 3rd band. So that's one of the things I look at besides the super trend. Second thing I look at is this red line here. Let me see if I can make that stand out a little better. There we go. There we go. That bright red line here, that's the 200 period simple moving average. It basically calculates the closing price of the last 20 candles, and that's what that is. Now this would have ended up being well, so far a decent signal, but I didn't take this signal, and I wouldn't have. You have a downtrending SMA line, which means that this is more likely than not going to bounce off of here at least once. Now, to get up to the Bollinger Band, and you can see if it respects the band or not. Oftentimes it'll bounce, and it actually just it's kind of like acting as resistance. The other thing I can look at is this blue line here. That's the 200 period exponential moving average. The exponential moving average averages the last 200 candles, 200. But with it being exponential, it takes the more recent price action at a higher weight than the more further back. But overall, yes, the super trend is my first thing. I have it set up that it sends me an alert every time one of these fire. Now this would have been a great. I wouldn't have taken this trade, and it looks like it ended up being at least half decent. Let's look. It's gone. Boop. It's gone 12 ticks so far. 10 ticks is 12 ticks is 100. That would be $150. I usually shoot for 20, so we can see if it'll get there. Because you can see now that the SMA line has kind of started curling up. That's unusual. Usually it comes down, kind of goes sideways for a bit, and then we'll go back up. But if you look back here, let's see, did I finish? I didn't finish charting. But you can see I chart out every trade I would have taken based on my entry. And let's go to NASDAQ because it's easier to see. And I think I finished charting it out. So from the start of the day, back here, this is from yesterday's trading day. I ignore the first hour. I never trade the first hour unless something major is happening. So I got this first first short signal here. That got me 15. Then then the buy signal, that got me 15. Now, it would have got me a lot more, but I shoot for 15 points up here. Then the next signal I got was this short. This one would have been a little bit iffy because it is close to that third band. Oftentimes, I won't take it if it touches that third band because that's often the sign that it's going to reverse. And it actually did reverse here. You can see how it came down a little bit, then reversed, but not enough to really stop me out. This trade actually would have been, you can see how long this trade would have been, and it would have gotten close enough to my stop loss, to my profit target, then I would have ended up getting not my full profit, but like a few points. I forget how I have it set up. Now I would not have taken this short signal because it did actually touch that third band, but I would have taken this next long, and that would have worked after a while. And this next short signal, this would have been a loss. This would not have worked. They're not all going to be winners. You're going to get about, if the key to trading is finding a strategy that wins 50% of the time or more and your winners are bigger than your losers. So for the NASDAQ, I shoot for 15 points for winners and my stop loss is at 10. So that's a 1.5 to 1 reward to risk ratio. So that means even if I lose, let's see, how does that work? If I lose, yeah. If I win one trade, I've gotten 15. So if I win, if I win two and I lose two, let's say I'm at 50%, that means 30 points in winners, 20 points in losers. Even when I'm wrong half the time, I would get 20 points toward the win, toward the good, to profit. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble with my mind tonight. So anyway, this short signal would have been here. And that worked. Now you can see in this trade, it gave me opposite signals multiple times. I normally I just let them roll because it will do that. Very few trades do like what you see later on when it just goes straight up. This was the same way. Up, down, up, down, up, down to the 15 points. And this one, which for some reason isn't marked out, was an excellent, obviously, trade. Would have gave us a lot more than 15 points if we stayed in the trade. Thank you. I try to explain it as well as I can and hope people ask questions along the way if I'm not explaining it as well. My goal, one of my goals, and it's one of the reasons I think I'm not doing as well as I should. I don't take as many trades as I should. It's just one of the reasons I'm not funded yet. But my goal is I believe that this is something when I prove it out, I can show others, I can teach others that they will be able to duplicate with, not much going, not having to learn too much into it. There is some intuitiveness to it too. Like here, this buy signal here would totally ignore downtrending SMA line, downtrending bands. I would not expect it to continue going up, up, up here at all, and it pulled back. Eventually, it did go, but you had to endure almost a 50-point pullback, and 50 points is $1,000. Now, there's some people that will trade once it crosses this SMA line, like right here. Once this candle crosses this SMA line, finished above it, then they'll get into that trade. So that's what I'm hoping. Like here, this is one I wouldn't have taken because it broke this third white standard deviation Bollinger Band. And you can see how it reversed. And it reversed by 20 to 43, 23 points, even more if you count the wick here. So, that's 25 points, $500 reversal. The third band is so good that if I could just place, I would love to just be able to place an order when something pierces the third band to reverse. But I actually have a spreadsheet. It's not loading. Why isn't my spreadsheet loading? Oh, here. I track all those. You've seen how I charted out all those trades, and I track this stuff over 8 different assets. I still need to finish. This is the last 2 weeks, not including today. I still need to finish a few from last week, but like my favorite copper at 20 tick, 20 tick profit target, 15 tick stop loss. This week it went 57 and 30, and then last week it would have went 77 and 31. Gold at 16 to 10, 64 and 41, 63.45. And this would have been the total profit of how many ticks profit if I could have stayed up 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. And that's just on one contract. So like here's 814 ticks, which would be $8,140 if I could have taken every trade. Now, obviously that's not possible, but what if you what if you traded for 8 hours? And most people don't trade out 8 hours. Honestly, most people trade 1 to 2 hours. But if you want to trade longer, you can trade longer. Let's say I traded 8 hours, cut that in half, or in third, but then do it by 3 contracts, and then you're back that same amount. So that's the potential. And this strategy that I'm using, it has been shown profitable every week on every asset, and I just don't trade it enough. So even here, this is natural gas, and I run a 2-to-1 risk to reward, 40 by 20, and it was 50% win rate. Now I do 60 by 40 for 3 hours of the day. That's most where it moves the most, and that went a little bit more than 50%. But still, 1,200 ticks. That's $12,000. So there's a lot of potential here, and I really want to be able to teach this. But I'm putting so much pressure on myself that I'm not taking the trades for still can't talk tonight. Fear of failure and other issues that I'm still not funded. but working on it. Trader psychology is the other big thing. Not just figuring out a strategy, but trader psychology. It's a huge thing. By the way, let's go back to our copper here and see what happened with that breakout. Well, look at that. So this is one that I would not have taken. I didn't take, and it would have totally worked. It totally blew through the downtrending SMA line and totally just went. This is already gone up. Looks like 31 ticks. So you're near $400 on that. So that was interesting. NASDAQ giving us a signal. NASDAQ's kind of doing that same thing. Just past this SMA line, it's still downtrending. It's been sideways. EF's doing the same thing. But we have downtrending bands. Usually, and again I say usually, you don't want to get into a downtrending. You're going to see it come up, pull back a little bit, and then maybe go. So again, I'm not getting into this trade, even though it's sending me the signal. And I always wait until the candle closes before getting into a trade. For one, it gives me time to evaluate the situation, where the bands are, where the lines are, and also whenever I get into a trade before the candle closes, it often reverses and the signal goes away. So you see here, this actually opened up between the two bands. So that to me it's proving me wrong. It might be proving me wrong again. This might be an unusual night because this is going to be an unusual week for Thanksgiving. But I'm still thinking this is going to pull back. And hold on, let me check something here. Make sure I have the right thing on this. Yeah, okay. Oh wait, wrong. Looking at the wrong indicator. Oh yeah, I do. So okay, now we're red. So I hit the third band here. You can see the white line just kind of tickling the wick here. Pull back. See if it continues to pull back. Now actually, oops, here we go. Let's blow that back up. You can actually see that the band's kind of bending, almost at a 90-degree angle, which is kind of unusual. It's usually more of a smooth, you know, if it bends at an angle, it's more of a obtuse. Let's see if I remember. Is that the right term from geometry class? Acute obtuse. Right. Yeah, obtuse. More of an obtuse angle. And you can see how it's kind of settling out here now as it pulls back just a bit. Now there is a Bellius, if you're still here, there's one other thing I do look at that I did not talk about, and that's support and resistance. And what that means is price action tends to go back to levels it's been at before and have trouble getting back through that. You see this white line that I've drawn out here? If we go back in time, uh, it's all the way back here. You can see here, this is where our low of the day was. So technically, we could use, this light line should actually be, let's say here. This is the last time we were down this low after that free fall today. Things will often bounce at a previous level that something bounced at. You see here, this move here from, this was the 18th, so Thursday. It came down here, this move exhausted, and this is where buyers came in and started pushing up. And we haven't seen that level since. You see that white line kind of disappeared because it's that far off. Now, here it appears again as we come down. So that's an area we want to watch. Because if this starts falling, first of all, you see the yellow line here. This yellow line is yesterday's low. That's our first resistance point, our support area, I'm sorry. When it's coming down, it's support. When it's going up, it's resistance. So you might see it come down here, and you're going to watch to see if it breaks this. If it breaks this, it's probably going to continue to go down some. But there's a good chance it'll bounce here, and this will buyers come in because they came in here. But if it breaks this, then your next level of support is this line here. Just the last time it was this low, and that's where buyers came in. Now, if you see it continuing to break support, bust through these areas, that means you're on a very strong downtrend, and you don't really know where the bottom is. But again, if I was to draw out, say, resistance areas, this is where it topped out twice. You can see it came up here, this upwards move. It got to here, came down a little bit, tried again on 2 candles later, and failed, and then fell. So this is a resistance area. If we start seeing the price action come up, let's say we get a buy signal just 2 points away from here. We'll want to see it break that resistance point before we get in, because there's a good chance it might bounce off and do this. Just like this would be a resistance point as well. This was the high of yesterday. That came up this move, and that's where it started flushing down. Now this is also an all-time high. So that would be another, psychological area. You always want to look at areas that you see things struggle at. If you see it, try 3-4 times and fail, then if it's falls and then comes back up to that area, you want to watch that area closely. And copper's still going. By the way, the super trend indicator, another thing you can do with it, and I haven't yet, you can actually use it as your stop loss. If you trail your stop loss, it's kind of a wide trail, but it's can give you kind of a area of continuing to follow it up, and as long as it's staying above, or in case it's going down below that area, you can stay in the trade. Some people actually just set their original stop loss on the ATR line. Oh, let's see how everything else is doing here. Okay, what exactly is this mess? What did I do? Okay, I'm in the first one. That one would have not stopped out there? Really? Cool. So here's a good case of, do you stay in or do you not stay in? Buy signal here. Would have got in. Came down. Almost stopped out. Do you get into this, short signal here? Well, didn't go enough to stop them out. Back up, down, down twice. Got that short signal, but back up, back down, and we finally went to target. It's why I just normally either say, yeah, just go to whatever it's going to happen, because especially this time of night, you'll get multiple signals along the way, just because the volume is less this time of night. It's continued to go up since. UltraBond. So this would have, if I've taken that buy signal here, it, we would have stopped out. Now, if I had taken that sell signal, that would have worked out. The lighter volume at this time of night makes it harder. Not impossible. You know, we've seen some good wins. Okay, my cat has decided to join me, which means his big old butt is blocking my screen. So we'll try to work around that. Let's see. Crude oil. Send us this buy signal here. Cat's gone. That was a quick hit and run. There we go. So the crude would not have yet given us, and now it's sending the opposite signal. And we're not in a trade now. Oh, big move down. Not really big, but see, it kind of bounced off this SMA line up here on the 5-minute and down, but we have uptrending bands, so that gives me pause. NQ. Looks like NQ is trying to push downward, as is the ES. The ES is giving us a signal. Let's see, NQ, ES, and G. ES again. Oh, oof. Four. Yeah, make it into this. Need a chart, need a chart, need a chart, need a chart, need a chart. There we go. Okay. Sorry. Got distracted for a second. So we can see it's got a signal here, and we're getting multiple signals here. Uh, Nasdaq gave us a signal. Gold's giving us a signal. Gold's pulling back. This Nasdaq, I'm interested in, but not as interested as I might be. We're gonna go into the micro contract. One, which is 1/10 the size of a normal contract, which means we're not going to win a lot, but we're not going to lose a lot. I actually went in with the wrong parameters, so I'll have to manage the trade myself. Ooh, I should have went in regular. See, we're up six. We were up $6, which would have been $60 if I went in regular. See how Nasdaq fluctuates like this, up and down, up and down. And that's one of the headaches of the NQ. See if it gives us. I'm usually looking for 15 points. Let's see if this is a fall. And now we see that our resistance here is see that our resistance here is about 13,362. That was yesterday's low. So we're gonna let it go down to there. We're already at we're at 83. We're already at 13 points. Looking for 15. Yep, pull back. It's gonna pull all the way back, right? See, it did break that third band, which did it kind of indicate a pullback. Copper sending us a signal as well. Let's see what copper's doing. Into uptrending SMA line. Gold also moved down. Gold almost made the same move that copper just did. But again, through uptrending SMA line, so we'll see. Nasdaq's come all the way back to my entry point. So I might have missed my opportunity there. See the Nasdaq chart here, down and then bounced off this break of the Bollinger Band. My mistake for not getting in there. I mean, not getting out there. Yeah, maybe trying to push back down. Or not. We're watching this trade, see what happens. UltraBond. Yeah, get out of the way. See what they're doing. Up. Bond's still going down, down, down. Let's look at quick resistance on that. Yeah, I don't see. Well, the daily low yesterday was 194.06. We're at 194.16, so it has 10 ticks before that. But Nasdaq's continuing now to try and push back down. There we go. And going back to the whole thought of support and resistance, this, even though it just happened 7 candles ago, because it came down here and rejected back up, this is actually a short-term resistance line, or support line. If it gets back down here, and you see it struggle again, I might close that trade. Right now I'm up 23 bucks on this trade, 26. It's getting back down to that same area. What was the low of that candle? 369.25. We're at 369.75. Again, it's struggling. Okay, I closed the trade there. It struggled at the exact same area. So I took the win. It's only like 24 bucks. If I had gone in with a regular contract, it would have been like $240. But I wasn't sure about it. So I took the micro instead. And this might still break. You can see it's still trying. But I took the short profit there. But you can see here, probably easier to see. We can get rid of this now. Go back to trading view screen only. You can see here, on 3 separate candles, it's rejected off the same area by a tick or two. See that? 1 bounce, 2 bounce, 3 bounce so far. and there it broke. So I could have stayed in that trade longer. We'll see if it breaks even more, and we can chart this out. Boop. See, easy. Oh, really? So, I don't know. I would have easily got 15 points out of that. I got in late. I must have. Yeah, I did. If I had gotten in right on that candle, at the start of that candle, we would never even had to deal with that pullback for the 15 points. See, it's still struggling right at this resistance area, support area. And now it's bouncing. So we got out at the right time, either way. We would have maybe got a couple extra ticks out of it, but it wouldn't have been worth the risk. And copper's giving us a signal. Copper's still going up. Copper gave us a short signals that I said it wasn't going to take. Now it might want to continue going up. We are 9 ticks away from the high of yesterday. But you see it came up here, touched, and came back down. Ooh, big move up there on still on this 1 minute candle. Just came within 1 tick of yesterday's high. So I want to see it break that. See here. Oops. Hey, well, he who hesitates is lost. It did just go through there. Like it wasn't even a resistance point. Wow. Now we have to go all the way back here for the next area. I honestly, I don't know how far back resistance honestly plays a factor. I look at it, but like this was all the way back on the 15th of November. And it hit 444.25. See, it broke through and then pulled back. So it's still like 40 ticks away from that next resistance. So there's a lot of room to roam if it continues to go up, and looks like it might try. still struggling in that area. So it would have went 12 ticks, which is 150 bucks. Normally I'm looking for 20. Would not have given us that. Gold still pulling down. This is ended up being a good signal. Nasdaq's kind of sideways now. Trying to get back below that resistance or support. I guess it's either way. Crude oil giving us a signal. Excuse me. It's been kind of sideways, giving us multiple signals. Hey, John, how you doing? Copper and crude. Copper and crude. Crude pulling back. Yep. Got a win on micro Nasdaq earlier, just a bit ago. It's been the only trade I've taken so far. The day was wild, but I took a loss on gold, and that was the only trade I took. And then everything went absolutely wild, and I missed out on some wonderful action. Have you looked at the charts from today, or were you trading today at all, John? Yeah. I got so mad at myself when I look back on the chart from Nasdaq, and I look at this chart, this rainbow here. If I followed the super trend signals, look at this. Buy signal here at the open, up, almost a perfect rainbow. Short signal, this buy signal obviously I wouldn't have got into in the strong downtrend. Then another short signal. If I just followed the signals of one contract, this would be like $8,000. And then there was good signals here and here. This one would have been a 15-point winner right there. Not even that, and then this would have been another. If I would just follow the signals. By the way, John, I can't talk tonight. I don't know why. I keep fumbling over my words. I have no idea why. So just bear with me. But if I just followed the signals, I would have had an amazing, absolutely wonderful, amazing day. So copper did pull back, went a little bit above yesterday's high, and then pulled back. And gold, while the Nasdaq and the ES were doing its thing, gold did its thing and fell 48 points, almost straight down. There was a lot of money to be made today, and I made none. That's a good day. It's an excellent day. I should have been more active. I don't know, trying to do too many things at once, trading and working and a few other things, and it's just, I look back on the day and I feel very frustrated when I accomplished nothing positive. Now just looking for another good signal. Wishing I had taken that NASDAQ trade as a regular mini instead of a micro. Yeah, I need to be taking more trades. I need to just, I don't know. I'm very frustrated with myself. There's no reason I shouldn't be funded yet. And every day I get, I get frustrated because, I took 2 trades on gold and I took losses on both. And it just seems like sometimes things are against me because like the 3 trades before and the 3 trades after each one were winners. And just that one particular one I decided to take loses. And it's like I know that the averages overall would play out, but it just gets frustrating sometimes. And I got to deal with that frustration. Copper trying to push back up. UltraBond kind of sideways. Crude oil grinding upwards. And natural gas blotchy. Gold coming down. Copper trying. Nasdaq ES slightly downtrending now. Still trying to come back up. And what's the Russell doing? Russell's slightly downtrending. Absolutely. Give me 1 sec to check this copper and then I will show you. Let's see, it's okay. SMA length 20, source close. MA select is SMA, and I have I mean, these can be in any order. I have the number 1 turned off, which is where I had the fourth standard deviation in. I turn that on every now and then just to see if how far something broke. And for 2, I have 2, and for 3, I have 3. I had those 2 check marked. And then if you want the alerts, you can put in whatever one you want it to send alerts for. Yeah, sorry. Whenever it sends a signal, it takes the settings away. It's actually called, hold on TradingView it's called Bollinger Bands with Alert. Let's go actually search for that. I have it in my favorites. Bollinger Bands, wait. It's gonna knock it down again, I think. I hate that. Bollinger Bands with Alert by Matsu Bitmex. What, do you have a, it'll be under community scripts, I believe. Yeah. Do you have, do you have the free, maybe, do you have a free TradingView or do you have a paid? I'm not sure, maybe free ones don't see as many scripts? Or as many indicators, I mean? Honestly, the other option would be to just, if you could put 2 Bollinger Bands on your chart, just, if you want to use the built-in Bollinger Bands, the ones that just TradingView has, if I add that, did I add that? Yeah, I did. You can add 2 of those, go into the settings, and then just change the deviation on the second one to 3. Okay, yeah, I have Pro Plus, so you should be able to find it. But if you just want to put in two Bollinger Bands, set 1 at 2 and set 1 at 3, you'll have the same thing. You just won't have the alert part. I'm not sure. I mean, it's not a proprietary script or anything. Cool. ES. Okay, so we're starting to see the indice maybe trying to climb back up. Last time it tried to come up, it failed. Gold also sent a signal. Ooh, big candle bounce there. ES. Signal went away. Didn't see what that last signal was. Crude. Bond. Crude and bond. Okay, so we got a buy signal on the bonds coming up from that downtrending SMA. Crude just staying within a range. You're very welcome. I'm glad to be able to help, John. I hope it helps you out. Honestly, my style and visibility look different on probably different charts. Like here, they stand out way more than here. But hold on. Style, white, yellow, blue for the ones I don't see. SMA is in red. I have it at all. I have the opacity at 100% for everything. But the thickness I only have here. But it's like on the Russell, it's I have it a little bit thicker. But I have yellow for the 2 and white for the 3. And I have none of these checked. I have all these turned off, so it doesn't have the if that matters at all. For I know you don't have the same script that I think about it. And for visibility, I've never messed with this, so I don't even know what it does, honestly. Sorry. So white and yellow. If you want to, I mean, if you want to see it better, just change your thickness. And then it comes, kind of stands out a little bit more. Did that help, or did you need to see it longer, John? Nothing's popping right now, so I can bring that back up if you need it. Oops. Okay, gold and crude. Okay, so gold's trying to come back up. Still below the SMA line. Crude is, I mean, crude's just been in this tight range here. You're very welcome. That's my goal, to be helpful. That's the main reason I do this. Hopefully it helps people at times. Wow. So we saw that the ES and the NQ is kind of trying to push up there a bit, and then it just like dumped. This was that prior resistance that it came down to twice and bounced off of, and it just blew through that with a 15-point candle downward. So that line can go away. So where's our next resistance, our support? That's still down here about 317.75. We're still quite a ways away from there. But we are now below yesterday's low. Is this going to be a sell-off all week? Or will we see a bounce when the London session opens? These are the questions we have to ask. It's still pushing down hard, actually. Wow. Just dumping here. So just knock something down. Crude oil. Still in that same range. So in the last 3 minutes, wow, look at this going down. And of course I missed out on it. It's going down 30 points in 3 minutes. And Q may have found the bottom after that sudden sell-off. ES doing the same thing. Really is quite amazing the sell-off we're seeing. Copper's hanging around that same area, kind of sideways. Crude oil again. And this thing has just been ranging, basically a 12-point range now since past hour. Looks like it's continuing to try and push down. Yes, I am. It's 7:30 a.m. actually. I'm on 7:30 a.m. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday this week. Yeah, I'll get up and try and not fall asleep through the Macy's parade and go from there. Yeah, yeah. I've watched the Macy's parade every year since I was little, so it's kind of like a tradition for me. No, I've never been there. I wouldn't mind going one year. I have a feeling it's actually more fun to watch on TV than to stand out and all those people and watch. But I just always watch it on TV. I wouldn't mind seeing New York City at Christmas time, one time, sometime. You know, it's supposed to be some pretty cool things around Christmas time. I'm a big Christmas decoration, Christmas lights, and all that person. So, I mean, that would be cool one year. Nasdaq continuing to fall. It's nearing that resistance point that I said was still pretty far away. Now it's only like 4 points away from that support area. Yeah, that's when I used to start. Not right after Halloween, but it used to take me quite a while to decorate. Haven't been able to do it the last couple years, but hopefully again in the future sometime. Have a good night, John. See you tomorrow morning. So just watching NQ free fall here. ES as well. NQ coming down to this resistance or support, whatever you want to call it. Sounds good, John. So you can see we got really close to this support area within 2 points, and then it's kind of struggling here. But it'll be interesting to see if it gets through here where the next one is. You can see this would have worked. The last two UB, this is the UltraBond. The last two UBs would have worked. I think it's kind of petering out here. But UB is something I really need to start trading more because it really works more often than not. But back to this NQ situation. Let's take a quick gander back to see where we go after this. Looks like there, there, here. 290 is the next resistance. Oops. So let's see where we're going from here. Problem is when something's free falling, it doesn't give us any more signals to get in, and I'm always afraid to get in and thinking that that's, I'm gonna get in right at the bottom. So we'll wait for the next signal from whatever. It's trying to bounce here. It's recovered about 15 points from the low. Copper's still sideways now. You can see it's squeezing. Gold did send us this buy signal, kind of followed the bands and then went back up. This would have been a good candle to get in on. Honestly, it would have been safe to get in on this candle, but we didn't know that. This would have been a good candle to get in on, and we'll be up 10 ticks. So NQ sending us a buy signal here, coming up through the SMA line. It's hard to jump on a buy signal after such a strong downtrend. I mean, obviously at some point it has to reverse. It's not just going to keep free falling to zero, but it's hard to figure out exactly where you want to trust it to get some sort of profit out of it. Yes, CL. So we see this buy signal did stay. We'll see what it does. I'm not getting in here. Well, crude oil's still in this odd range. Not doing anything really. Copper. Kind of a boring spot here. I could start singing Christmas carols. Dashing through the snow. Watch me get a copyright strike. Please feel free to say hello in the chat. If you have any questions, ask away. Looking for something to trade. This is where patience is a virtue. Not jumping into just everything so you have something to do or something to entertain your audience with. Could chart out the Russell. I haven't charted that out tonight. loss. That would have been a win. Would not have gotten into that with the downward trending bands. Probably wouldn't have gotten into that because of the upward trending bands, even though that would have worked. That I would have because the bands are sideways. That didn't take long. Let's go look at the NQ. Okay, so the NQ did bounce here and has gone up. Let's see, if we had gotten in there, 39, be up 6 points. Don't know if it has a sustained. We have the ES also trying to make this upwards move. And there's a sending a buy signal. Just kind of went away again. And it's pulling back again. So no signal now. Not much entertaining going on right now. That's interesting. I'm curious. I didn't get into this one because we're having a slight uptrend here. I'm curious if it would have worked because we see it going down now. That would have stopped me up. But if I would have been using my old, no, it still would have stopped me up. No, oh, maybe not. I used to do 15 tick stop loss and I reduced it to 12. And that would still have me in this trade this long. But I only do 12, so this would have stopped out. UB. UB or not to be? That is the question. You see this buy signal here, I wouldn't have got into, then it's, I wouldn't know, if I would have gotten in the short signal, it would be almost stopped at, oh actually we wouldn't be because that's only 3. Everything is slowed down to a snail. Nothing's giving us anything right now. We'll just kind of keep it on the NQ and the ES here and see if they do anything fun until something signals. Remember, this week this is the only evening um, live stream. We will be doing mornings, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Friday morning, be announcing whatever Earn a Trade's Black Friday sales are, or sale. We can talk about some of the other as well, if Apex or Lulu or Top Step or whatever, if they have anything worthwhile. But I prefer Earn a Trade. We do have a signal here on the Russell. Let's check that out. On Wednesday, I was thinking about doing an extended stream because of FMLC. Minutes coming out, plus a whole bunch of other wild and wacky news coming out on Wednesday. RTYES. So getting some signals here. Okay, ES is going to try again. If at first you don't succeed, try again. We have 46 seconds on this candle yet. Bringing up ES chart on Ninja Trader. Okay, we bought it. We placed an order. See if we get filled. Ah. Okay, got filled. Down one tick. Took one tick of slippage. Slippage. Let's see if ES wants to continue going up. I only put in 4 ticks stop loss. So it stops us out, it'll only be for 50 bucks. Might not be enough because that last candle was 5 ticks. Usually you might go below at least the last candle. Yep, down 2 ticks. Yeah. Back to break even. Yeah, we're 1 tick away from being stopped. Orders stacked in both the bid and the ask. Checking the DOM. What's the Nazi doing here? Nazi's sideways too. One tick up now. Small wall of orders here on the ask. Just trying to break through. We're up 3 ticks, 4 ticks. Hopefully we can get through these orders sitting on the ask. Crude oil. Okay, we're up 5 ticks now. My stop moved to break even on this trade. So if it comes back all the way back down, we'll stop out at break even. Crude's kind of broken out of his range, came down some, now coming back up. Gold. Pulling back. There we go. Why didn't it? Okay, our target was filled. It's going to continue to go, but that was a good win. Very nice win. Let's go look at the stats on it. Let's put this down. We're up 121.50 now. I believe we got $100 out of that one. We got $21 out of that MNQ trade here earlier, so we're 2 for 2. That trade lasted a little under 6 minutes. And we got our 8 ticks. And it looks like it's pulled back here a little bit, so got out at the right time. Had a very good $100 win there. Oops, sorry about that. And we'll see if there's any other trades to be taken. Two out of 2 for tonight. 2 wins for $121 so far. Hmm. You see, continuing to climb here. So, I mean, we could have, if we had more than one contract, we could have took profit on one and then kind of tried to stay in for the other. But that's okay. Let's see here. Let's plot out this ES. I mean, I'm sorry, this NQ. See whether or not this will have been good. See how far it would have went. We were looking for 15. Ah. And yep, that would have been good as well. So the indices are giving us some clean moves. The Russell also would have given us a good buy signal, I believe, here. So we wouldn't have went wrong with any of the three indices. Probably not the YM either. I'm not charting that, but yeah, this would have given us 150. 3 good points right there. Hmm. Crude just being amazingly rangy. Look at this. I mean, this is sound effects are free, folks. Gold, gold, gold. So this buy signal, which I wouldn't have taken because it was downtrending, would have worked. It's pulled back a couple of times. Could have got above. Anytime we went above the SMA line, you could have got back in and gotten like a point out of it, $100. Copper. So they has a buy signal here. Yeah, I don't really like it. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with it per se, but this seems. I mean, it's into the third band, I think. Let's look. Sorry, I probably got really horrible with me moving that like that on screen, and I apologize for that. I mean, it's up. This is only a 7 tick candle. It's well into the Bollinger Bands. I don't really. I think it's going to pull back from here. We'll watch it since we got nothing else to do. And we did see a pullback here on the next candle. Whether there's a temporary pullback or it continues to go, we'll see. But definitely was well above the third Bollinger Band, so I definitely decided not to take it. So ES continue to go. We got at about 468, 46.78.50, and it went up another 2 points or so so far. Just watching charts, looking for. Well, let's see what copper has to say. Oh, those boring streams where I lose people. See, I was right. Pull back. That would have been a great play to play. That hasn't been pulled back that much. Crude. UltraBond. UltraBond times 2. UltraBond showing me a short signal. Yeah. UltraBond just looks weird. Coming into uptrending uptrending bonds, yeah. Uptrending bands. Tells me not to take it. As much as I'm desperate to take something right now. So I gotta figure out how to get better at is filler time when there's nothing going on. What I talk about, especially when there's no one chatting. All you people could be, you know, chatting. And by the way, if you're here from Twitch and you haven't already followed, please give me a follow. And if you're here from YouTube, please hit the like button and hit the subscribe button as I continue to try and grow the channel. UltraBond again, giving us a buy signal 2 candles later. Copper sideways. Everything sideways right now. Bounce off the SMA line here on both the NASDAQ and the S&P. UltraBond again. UltraBond again. That might actually be a good one. Hard to tell. Agriculture. Soybeans since open. Pulled back at open, bounced off the SMA line, kind of flattened out. Corn kind of did the same. Swear I wish I followed more. Maybe something was going on the currency futures that's exciting. That could. Let's check the British pound. See if anything exciting is happening there. Oh, that looks spotty too. Yeah, I mean, actually would have gave us a few good moves. Probably not huge, but not bad. Let's see, anything else? Six. How about the Mexican peso? Ooh, no one trades the peso apparently. Wow. That looks pretty dead all the time. Let's see. Volume. Yeah, about 47,000 a day. That's not horrible, I guess. Looks more swing trading than day, I guess, maybe. Maybe I'm not giving it enough time. Let's take a look back. Still looks, even during the day, it looks very blotchy. Well, that's not a bad move there. That's not a bad move. You can get some moves out of it. I have no idea how much a tick or a point is for, but Okay, I'm really bored right now. I didn't watch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer tonight, so I could live stream. I want one more good trade. I gave up Rudolph. UltraBond. Now, see, this is where I start getting iffy. Um, within 2 minutes, within 6 minutes, I'm sorry, we got sell by sell. But it did start bending the bands down, so that's interesting. What did I knock down? HG, copper, 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 copper. Copper's trying to come back up, but it's sideways. Well, there's that buy signal again on copper. I mean, there's technically nothing wrong with it. But you can see what kind of here. Look, if you look here on the 5-minute chart, I always say this when I draw a trend line that I don't draw trend lines that often. But we're kind of like doing this lower high thing. You know, came up here, boop, pull back, boop, pull back, boop, pull back, boop. Yes, again, the sound effects are free. And here, so I mean, I don't know. Did get above the SMA line here on the 5-minute. And, I mean, we've gone up 4 ticks off that buy signal so far. UltraBond again. UltraBond again. I swear I just said that. See, it's just playing with us here. Ooh. Sideways, sideways, sideways. Coming up on, hey, I was able to talk for a while. Coming up on 10:30 Eastern. Not much exciting happening right now. If nothing picks up, we'll probably call it a night here shortly after 10:30. Then we're back here tomorrow at 7:30 in the morning for more exciting action. Or we hope some more exciting action. So you can see how almost all these signals on gold will work, even if they do have pullbacks. I'm usually looking for 116, 16 ticks. And that would have got it right there. Then this, and I'm here talking about gold just as it sends me a signal. This one also would have worked. So you can see here, if we go back to the beginning of the day, all four on gold would have worked. I think even this one would have worked, even which was before I would actually trade. 9.3 down to 7.6. Yeah, that one would have worked too. So, but anyway, the four that I marked off here, 16 ticks each at the least. You see, some would have got way more if he had stayed in the trade. Just go to 16 ticks, 160, 320, $640 between these four trades. Check back on our indices here. Nothing going on. crude oil. Still in this range. Look at this range. This is kind of a. I mean, oops. That's the range it's been in now for over an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. That's a. I mean, it's a 24-point range, but I mean, if you had gotten it up here, or 26 points maybe, you didn't know that was going to be the top. It's just giving no follow through on any of these to even do anything with. It's kind of, you got to wait till it breaks out of this range, one way or the other. We did get another buy signal on gold here. Yeah, you know what? I'm bored, so see if we can get a few ticks out of gold, I guess. It's by the bid. If it comes back and fills me on the bid, we'll get in. If not, if it goes without me, then it goes without me. We're filled. Came back for me. Let's get our trusty Dom here. Everything kind of froze. There we go. Dom wouldn't fill. I don't know if there was a data problem there for a quick second or what. Got a good wall of support at 1809.2. We're at 1809.3. So good line of support there. 35 on the bid, 28 on the bid at 1809.0. We're up 2 ticks. Not very thick on the ask going up, so hopefully that's a good sign. Just need, we're up 2 ticks. See, it looks like it wants to kind of climb up. There we go. Really liking the way the Dom looks. Even as it pulls back here a little bit. Let me show you what I mean by the Dom, in case you don't know. Dom just shows how many orders are on the bid and the ask. You see the bid over here, 4, 13, 14, 15, 12. It'll have to eat up these orders to continue going downward. Over here, we're in mostly single digits, 10, 7, 10. And as I'm saying this, it pulls back to break even. Hopefully, we can continue to eat up these orders. We got some other signals going on here. Let's see what we have. ES and NG. Well, what about ES? We'll ignore NG for now. What's ES doing? Looks like the indices want to try and pull back again. Gold's starting to stack up some orders on the ask as well. And now we're back down a tick. Two ticks. So now things suddenly, and now there's orders stacking on the ask. Let's move this off screen a minute. Let's look at support and resistance on this. And you see the SMA line here sitting at about 18.089, which is only two ticks away. So if it doesn't bounce off of there, we might get out. You see that the ATR is only at 18.089 as well. So hopefully these will provide some support. If not, we can pull that trade early. Let's pull back. We're down two ticks. Let's see if it bounces. We can move our stop up here to 18.086. That would mean we'll lose $70 on this trade, barring any slippage. I know I did that because that is below the ATR line and the SMA line. If it doesn't bounce off either one of those, then there's a good chance it goes down further. Crude. Oh, you know why I love it, crude. Up, down, not doing anything. Just hanging around. Still down one tick. Oh, back to break even. Again, the ask side of the DOM looks a lot better than the bid, so that's hopefully a good sign. Every time I say that, it goes down one. I need to just keep my mouth shut. We're only about 4 ticks away from the first Bollinger Band there. So that is a concern as well. Squeezing bands. So keep an eye on that. If it pushes up a few ticks and we see it gets stuck, then I can pull it. Take a little bit of profit. A little bit of profit is better than nothing. It's just kind of sitting there right now. Oh, now it goes down by another tick. And we see it's actually below the SMA line. And now it's kind of hugging it. So it's definitely tightening. It's not a lot of room here for it to really go either way. Yep. This is we are in gold right here. It'd be really nice if maybe, Yukon Cornelius and Rudolph Special would come in here and buy some gold. He was always after silver and gold. ES giving us a signal here. Let's check what ES is doing. Try to pull back. Also tightening. We're back up by a tick on gold. Maybe Yukon Cornelius did come in. Copper. Heading downward. Oop, big move down on copper. We're up 2 ticks here on gold. See if we continue upwards. A double-digit orders stacked here on the ask. ES again. Still trying to get our attention. All attention's on gold for now, though. Can it continue to move up? Moving on up. Back down 1. Back down to break even. It's going to torture us here. So we're back to break even again. So we see it's struggling here. And when something struggles a couple of times, you gotta judge whether you think it might break through or if it's gonna continue to pull back. And now we're back down a tick. So if it goes back up to like 2 ticks, I might take that. It's only $20, but it's profit. Right now it's sitting here at break even. And you can see here on the SMA is starting to kind of level out. So this could be a bad sign that we're going to start seeing a pullback here. Dom is stacked both sides now with double digits. UltraBond. Wow. Dot, 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 dot. It's not doing anything. We'll just follow this gold trade for now, and however it ends up is how I'll end the stream. We're up 1 tick again. See that the ATR line has moved to 1809.1. If it falls back to there, which would be just a $30 loss, I'll probably pull it there. You have uptrending bands. Bands are horizontal at the top. Back down 1 tick. Back down 2 ticks. Sitting right on that ATR line. This green line right here. That's the line. If it goes down 1 more tick, you'll see a sell signal fire. And there it goes. This candle has 15 seconds left. We're going to close the trade if it continues that short signal. It does. No pullback. New candle started there. Oops. We are going to, we're long, right? So ask. Oh, there we came. No. Let's close it there. So we'll close the trade for a $30 loss. So that's going to wrap up the stream for tonight. Ended up in profit by 91.50. Won 2 out of 3 trades. It looks like we did make a good decision there closing. As you see, it's gone down another couple of ticks. So 91.50, not bad. About $30 an hour. 3-hour stream. Can't complain about that. Uh, Next stream is tomorrow morning in just about 10 hours, I believe. 7:30 Eastern. No, wait, 9 hours. Yeah, it's about 9 hours. Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday mornings this week. So I want to thank everyone for joining me tonight, and I hope to see you tomorrow, or Wednesday, or Friday. If I don't see you, have a great holiday. You're very welcome. Have yourself a good night. If you can make it in the morning, glad to have you. If not, the next time we'll have an evening stream will probably be next Monday night. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.